Hello guys, good day to all. This is Mike, Mr. Typhoon Padua, returning to our latest update on the Typhoon Mekkhala with local name Francisco. And this is for today, Wednesday, June 24, 2026. This is our English version, brought to you by Typhoon 2000 and Naga College Foundation. Before we begin, we'd like to thank our partners, Aboy Tis Power, and the local government of Naga City, headed by our Honorable Mayor Leni Robredo and our Honorable Vice Mayor 𝗗𝗶𝘀𝗿. Well, Typhoon Mekkhala of Francisco is now decaying as it moves slowly northward towards the 𝗗𝗶𝘀𝗿𝗄 and Ryukyu Islands of southern Japan. And this system, which has briefly reached Super Typhoon status based on the PAGASA classification, not with the Joint Typhoon Warning Center, because JDWC just 10 kilometers shy of becoming a Super Typhoon, just 230 kph, while PAGASA has reached 185. That's why their classification has been upgraded into a Super Typhoon. So it's just for 6-12 hours, then PAGASA downgraded it as the system began to weaken yesterday morning. And here's the satellite loop Monday evening as it briefly reached Super Typhoon status. And then during the early morning of Tuesday or yesterday, it started to weaken into a category 3 typhoon. So that's the eye disappearing as increasing vertical wind shear, as well as upwelling of the sea surface temperature, which paved way of this system weakening into a category 3, 2, and now it's just a category 1 typhoon. As you can see, observe here, the northern circulation of the storm has begun to become convective free, and most of the rain bands are concentrated over the southern and southwestern portion of the typhoon. And you can see the low level circulation appearing here over the northern over the middle edge of the convection. It's currently located here. So you can see the eye, which is now being exposed by the vertical wind shear. And if we take a look right now on the latest from University of Wisconsin Tropical Cyclone page, fast animation, and you can see we have another cyclone, and this is Tropical Storm Higos, which has formed during the early hours of Tuesday. This is Tropical Storm Higos, and it's currently moving away from the Marianas. It has briefly attained tropical storm status, but due to increasing wind shear, it has weakened into a tropical depression. But for the next couple of days, it is likely to return to tropical storm status as it moves closer towards the northeastern edge of the Philippine area of responsibility. So this is the power line right here. And if this system reaches here on the edge of the Philippine area of responsibility, or just moving into within the power line or 1 degree left of the boundary, it is likely to be named as 𝗗𝗏. So that will be the new name, the next name of PAGASA if the system enters power. But if not, if the system passes here, it won't be used. Okay, so that's the protocol of DOST-PAGASA. So let's wait and observe what will be the track of the system in the next 4 to 5 days. Okay, and we have here another LPA being monitored along the edge of the Western Pacific near the international date line. And we have here LPA 95W forming over the Marshall Islands. So it's currently here, and this system is forecast to move west-northwest towards the sea east of Northern Marianas. So this system might become our next tropical cyclone after Higos, and is set to enter power if most of the computer models agree, likely during the first week of July. So we're going to monitor this, as it may become a powerful or super typhoon once again because of its far away formation, and it has ample time to build up due to very warm oceanic heat content of the Western Pacific, as we have the ongoing El Nino right now. So most of the formation, like I said during the previous months, that tropical cyclone genesis are forming, are located here far away from the Philippines. So once a cyclone forms here, it will have more time to develop over warmer seas. So that's the scenario of this next LPA. So we will go back to that LPA in the next couple of days once it is already matured. But again, let's hope that it will not make any landfall or disrupt our weather conditions here in our country. And here's the latest zoom-in satellite animation from cyclonicwx.com. You can see the perfect low-level circulation. And somewhat it's a cloud-filled eye trying to reorganize, but due to very strong vertical wind shear which blows from the east-northeast, that's the reason why most of the rain bands are displaced here over the southwestern and southern quadrant of Francisco. So it's now moving towards the north, towards this direction. So folks over Okinawa, please take all necessary precautions as the storm is expected to pass over your area this coming Friday, June 26. And here's the tropical cyclone heat potential, the oceanic heat content. The storm is now moving over cooler heat potential. So expect the storm to gradually decay into a severe tropical storm. Then later, after passing Okinawa, it is likely to become an extratropical cyclone, which is part tropical and part subtropical. So it could become a frontal system. Okay, and that's the so far. That's the transformation of tropical cyclones. When it reaches the subtropics, it converts the energy from the source of warmer sea surface temperature or warmer moisture from cooler dry environment, so that and gets its energy from cooler environment. And here's the latest now on the wind shear product from CMSS. It's currently being bombarded by a strong 55 kilometers per hour vertical wind shear or upper level winds. That's the reason why it's melting. Okay, the convection is melting more to the south. It's no longer a typhoon. It's barely a typhoon if you look at the satellite, but still at 140 kph as of 8 o'clock this morning. And there you go. So for the next 24 hours, it will be downgraded into a tropical storm. So that's the forecast of this tropical cyclone or typhoon Francisco. Now here's the latest on the windy.com. As we discussed the southwest monsoon, which is bringing very intense thunderstorms across the western sections of the Visayas, Sulu and Cuyo archipelagos, Mimaropa, and it's now producing some localized thunderstorms across the western sections of central and southern Luzon. That includes western Zambales, Bataan, Cavite, Metro Manila included, as well as the southern Tagalog provinces. So please take all necessary precautions for sudden flooding when we have this very intense cloudburst within these localized thunderstorms, which is currently enhanced by tropical or typhoon Francisco, which is now moving towards the north. So it will take a couple of days before the southwest monsoon will weaken once the system becomes an extratropical and accelerating towards the southern coastal waters of Japan. And we have here tropical storm, or I mean formerly tropical storm Higos, okay, in and this storm or this depression is currently having a hard time as well of developing, as you can see here on the latest on the wind shear environment. The system is currently moving into increasing vertical wind shear as well, but it's fighting to organize or improve as it moves towards the Western Pacific. And so far, this is a non-problem to our country, and it will remain just a tropical storm or even a severe tropical storm based on the 5-day forecast of the Asian agencies monitoring this tropical storm or tropical depression. Here's the latest graph set last night, and you can see the different graphics showing the location of the southwest monsoon, location of Higos, Mekkhala or Francisco, and right here, this is now LPA 95W. We will update this graphical satellite analysis later today. And here's the last track that we issued 11 p.m. last night, and it's currently the storm is currently here, and it's slowly moving towards the southern islands of Japan. So the winds has just decreased. The forecast is 165, but right now it's just more than that. Okay, less than that. I mean, 140 kph. And here's the integrated multi-agency tropical cyclone tracks from various Asian agencies, including the Joint Typhoon Warning Center, and most of them are now decaying the system and agreeing for most of the tracks as it moves towards Okinawa within the next 48 hours. So it's no longer a problem to our country, just the usual southwest monsoon, as we are in the season of the southwest monsoonal flow. Here's the multimodal diagnostic comparison from RAMMB of NOAA, and after reaching its peak of 125 knots, it began to decay and is just below 150 kph, so below 18 knots, and it's likely to weaken further into a tropical storm. And as we take a look at the wind shear environment, since Monday, the wind shear has dramatically increased from 20 kph up to 55 kph. So that's the reason why the storm has started to weaken rapidly after doing a rapid intensification phase last Monday. And usually that's the problem of smaller storms. It tends to intensify rapidly quickly, then after having some problems with the wind shear and upwelling of the sea surface temperature, the storm quickly decays. Okay, so we expect further decaying of this system as the sea surface temperature and the oceanic heat content begins to drop, and the mid-level relative humidity is still high as of this time, but for the next 5 days it's going to become more drier. And here's the multi-tracks of Higos, and it's currently located here. This is a non-threat to any parts of Asia Pacific region as of this time. So this is not going to become a factor when it comes to day-to-day day-to-day weather conditions, except if some of the convection reaches the area of southern Honshu. So we will observe that in the coming days. Now here's the latest forecast from the American model GFS for the next 5 days. And you can see that Francisco is moving towards Okinawa. Tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, passing over Okinawa quickly. And looks like a tropical storm Higos will be absorbed into the transformation of Francisco or Mekkhala. And then on Saturday, Sunday, we have another LPA here forming in the vicinity of Yap, but it's a weak one. It will start to decay quickly. And what we are concerned is this one. And likely that's LPA 95W that we are mentioning a while ago. And on July 1st, it's an active LPA moving towards the west, but it looks like it will remain as a weak system. And the latest now from the American model, it will be weakening into an open tropical wave. Okay, and there's another LPA here forming over the Gulf of Tonkin in the vicinity of Hainan Island, and you can see the southwest monsoon being dragged across the South China Sea. Okay, so this is a new take from the American model. And then that's it. The LPA here looks like to become tropical storm during the first week of July, so we are going to observe that. Now let's take a look at the European model, because the European model is showing the system. We're no longer going to discuss Higos and Francisco since it's the same tracking, and we are more concerned on the next system, but the uncertainty remains high, less than 20% probability, so changes will still occur. And here comes the LPA 95W, or it could be another one, we don't know. So July 3, it's quite a large system moving towards the Marianas. And July 5th, Sunday, it could become a tropical depression. And Monday, a tropical storm approaching Saipan area, crossing Saipan area on Tuesday, July 7. And on July 8, it will move farther into the North Philippine Sea with a westward turn. Now take note, the forecast of more than 7 days up to 14 days, low in probability or highly uncertain. So we don't know if what will be the outcome until we reach 7 days to go. Okay, so we should be aware that there might be another system this first week of July, but we still don't know where it will go. Okay, the odds is very high. Okay, so we'll see when we reach those dates. Now, here's the latest from the Google DeepMind, an AI model which is performing well when it comes to the tracking of storm. Here's the two systems, Francisco and Higos. And as we move this slider, there you go, moving upward. And then there's those forecast ensemble, those circles indicating a possible formation. And then July 1st, here's the system that we are going to observe during the first week of July. It's still very scattered all around. So once this scattering become more constrict, okay, so blended together or all in one, that's the probability of that one will increase. So we will wait and see what will happen during the first week of July. Okay, so let's move now towards the latest on the ensemble. Here's the 95W that we are going to observe. It's still very limited. So later on, after a few days, we are going to see if that will be our next system this first week of July. Now, for the rain forecast, we expect more thunderstorms across our country, especially the western sections, because of the combined southwest monsoon and these localized thunderstorms. So every day we expect thunderstorms either in the morning, evening, or afternoon. So that will be the scenario for the next 5 days until Monday, since we are in the wet season. Okay, and if we take a look at the 24-hour rainfall accumulation forecast so far, the rainfall over the western sections of Luzon and Mimaropa, as well as western Visayas, due to the southwest monsoon, remain below 30 millimeters. There are some reaching below 50 millimeters, like here over western Zambales and Bataan. There might be rainfall of less than 50 millimeters, around 20 to 50 millimeters. Okay, while the rest are more on localized thunderstorms and less than 25 millimeters of rain. So if we slide it for the next 5 days until Monday, it will remain normal of these so-called thunderstorms across the country as we move into the month of July. Now let's take a look at the wave forecast so far. Right now we have wave heights here over the East Philippine Sea up to 3 or 4 meters because of the passage of Francisco, and over the West Philippine Sea up to 1.5 meter in wave heights. Sulu Archipelago and the rest of the inland waters of our country will remain up to 1 meter in wave heights. It's gonna be a little choppy for those who have small fishing vessels, so please take all necessary precautions for today. But for the next 5 days until Monday, we are seeing an improvement of the wave heights across the Philippines. For example, on Monday, we have here up to 1 meter in wave heights of the East Philippine Sea, of the West Philippine Sea, up to 1 meter as well. Over the inland waters of our country, Sulu and Cuyo archipelagos will have very calm wave conditions, okay, suitable for fishing and sea travel. So that ends our update for today. The special coverage on Typhoon Francisco, which is likely to become a severe tropical storm later today, then tomorrow tropical storm, then on Friday it could become an extra tropical cyclone. So it depends if it gets more, it still have enough energy to maintain its tropical status. So this is Mike, Mr. Typhoon Padua. We'll see you again tomorrow for another update. Thank you so much for watching our channel. God bless to all.